guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wayne Gaming, and assuming me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you into the Let's Play episode of NeveN. So y'all, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now up for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming not safe for work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarms, Jenny, we're up, and let's go. Okay. After about 20 minutes of going around and around, I only have the courtyard and gardens to search. Now that I think about it, the garden should have been at the top of my list of places to find Akhet. Although fairly drunk, the bird really seemed to enjoy the place. And of course, as soon as I walk in, I can see my feathered companion sitting on the bench we sat on last time. I can't help but smile as I walk towards him with a perky step. I knew I would find you here! Well, that's the official version. Let's hide the fact that I had to search half the castle to find him. Ellois, why are you looking for me? Is there a problem? I restrained myself from rolling my eyes before sitting down next to Akhet. Everything is fine, rest assured. I don't need an emergency to feel like spending time with my favorite bird. I like how that rhymed. Your favorite bird? Well, technically you're the only bird I really know, but that makes you my favorite by default. I give him my best smile and he laughs softly, his beak half hidden by his talons. It's weird, he seems much calmer than I expected him to be. Although when I pay closer attention, I can see him fidgeting nervously and playing with his fingers. He's just trying to hide his stress, I guess. So, how are you feeling? Not too worried about the contest? I'm absolutely terrified. That's not really the impression you're giving me, if I'm being honest. You should have seen me an hour ago. I managed to calm down since then, but more or less. Hey, you have no reason to freak out like that. After all, we delighted the crowd with our song during the party. There's no reason we can't do the same thing during the competition. Oh, I know we can win, it's just that if I ever make a mistake, I'm not the only one who will suffer the consequences. I can make us lose, both of us. Is that what you're worried about? You don't have to stress about it, you know. What? But just avoid making mistakes. You didn't make any during the party, and even when we rehearsed, you did all right. I don't see why you would have any problem today. Even if God's only knows by what misfortune we lose, it's not the end of the world. Of course, I want to win, and I don't even consider defeat, but we have other options in the worst-case scenario. I'm sure my old band will be absolutely thrilled to have me back, and who wouldn't want to welcome a talented musician like you? Here, you see, we have other options. So stop thinking about what could go wrong and focus on our goal. We're going to win. That's one way to look at it. Obviously, my little speech didn't really help. I guess what works to motivate me doesn't work on everyone else. I do have other arguments on my side, though. Do you remember the conversations we had on the way to the capital? I'll be honest with you, I tried to think about that day. Oh, I mean, before, everything that happened, when it was just the two of us. We talked about getting lost in the city streets looking for an inn. I think I remember, yeah, but I'm not sure why you bring it up. We can sleep here in the castle. That's not what I mean. We never really got a chance to visit the city together after that. I don't even know if you've been outside the castle walls. Not really, no. Second now. Coffee time. Oh, pumpkin spice coffee. Sometimes it is good. There, you see? You could just go out and go around for a walk, run the streets, look for cool places. You want to do that now, before the competition? No, obviously not, but once we win, because we will win, we can do this. One day, just you, me, and Frostfang. We'll eventually end up in a tavern with a pint in each paw. Sounds like a good way to celebrate our victory to me. Yes, that sounds like a good idea, and I suppose we can cheer ourselves up that way if we ever lose. Now that's the right way to look at it. I give him a little shoulder tap with a laugh, and he quickly joins me. I don't know how you always make me feel good in the face of hardship. That's my talent, no doubt. Besides, it's my job to make people happy. It would be a shame if I couldn't do the same with my friends. You make it sound so much easier than it really is. No, not really. And most of the time, what people need is entertainment. Something else to focus on instead of thinking about their problems. And if there's anything I'm good at, it's providing a distraction for others. I force attention on myself to make them forget their problems for a while. If I show that I'm happy, people tend to follow me. Smiling is one of the best tools a bard of my kind can have. I flash Akhet a big smile to prove my point, and he returns it to me, obviously more relaxed than he was at the beginning of our conversation. I guess you know what you're talking about. I always know what I'm talking about. In case you haven't noticed, I'm extremely knowledgeable in an awful lot of things. Of course. How could I have doubted for a second the wisdom of a rabbit coming out of a mountain village? I take a falsely offended look before giving him a friendly slap on the shoulder, which makes him laugh again. We then spend more time simply talking about anything and everything. I think I did a pretty good job of soothing the falcon. It helped calm my nerves, too. After our chat in the garden, Akhet and I head back to his room for our final preparations. So, ready? As much as I can be, I think. I'm worried about not knowing the reception hall. I don't think if I'll have to adjust to the acoustics. I don't know if I'll have to adjust to the acoustics room. If it makes you feel any better, I think everyone has the same problem. It was off limits in preparation for the competition, at least since we arrived. Oh, I guess no one has a head start in this race then. There's quite a lot of people trying their luck. It's unlikely we'll be the first to sing, rest assured. I give him a big grin, to which he responds nervously. There's not much more we can do at this point, other than trust in our abilities. I know how good we are, and what we did at the party proves it in my eyes. Unless this place collapses in on itself, I don't see how we can lose. As we walk down the corridors of the castle, I can feel a very special kind of energy running through the halls. From time to time, you can hear someone's voice warming up, or notes of music echoing down the hallways. The contestants we pass have nervous, excited, or focused expressions. So, coffee time. The tension is almost palpable, and finally we reach the entrance to the reception hall, located in the heart of the royal castle. A small crowd gathers at the entrance, slowly entering the room. While I can recognize most of the bards who attended the party, I can also see a few nobles who seem almost lost in the group. We will obviously have an audience in addition to the judges. Not that I mind. It'll be a good test to see if Akhet and I manage to please the nobility. We blend with the group finally before reaching the place where the most important competition of my life is going to take place. And I must admit, I could hardly have asked for a better location. The reception hall is absolutely beautiful. The first thing I notice is its size. There are already about 50 of us present. I feel like the room could accommodate 5 times that number. The wooden floor is immaculate and has a slight shine to it. I imagine it must have been given a coat of varnish recently. As soon as I set foot on it, I know that dancing here will be a real pleasure. I slide on it just enough to allow me to make my moves, but never so much that I risk falling or losing control. A stage large enough to accommodate a whole band has been built in the center of the room. That's the kind of stage I want to sing on. Nothing to do with that one at the party. Right next to it, also raised on a stage, are 5 richly crafted wooden seats. I guess that's where the judges will sit. I wonder who the 5th is. What's most impressive, however, is what looms over us. The ceiling is composed of a series of stained glass windows depicting the greatest moments in the kingdom's history. Wars, successions, weddings. In the center, larger than all the others, are 2 representations of the king's Luskan Aeon. The whole thing is absolutely superb. A work of art to the glory of Frostfang. Also, as the sunlight passes through the stained glass, it colors the reception hall and the people in it in dozens of different ways. I would kill for a brand of Valeria at that moment. What could I not do in an environment like this? So much light and color. I'm not the only one who had the idea. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see several of my colleagues testing what they can do with their brands, making the light dance around. Lucky them. Wow, that's really something. I couldn't have said it better myself. Now I know I have to win, even more than before. I want to spend my life singing and dancing here. I smile like I've never smiled before at Akhet, who gives my smile back to me. This place is every bard's dream. How can I not be excited to play in this room? We're not just here for our love of the arts, though. It's time for me to get into the spirit of competition. I grab the falcon's claw and start pulling him into the crowd. Hey, again? I'm securing us a good seat. But we can see the scene from everywhere. Maybe, but it's not the stage we're interested in. It's the judges. I want to see how they react to the other contestants. After all, they're the ones we have to impress. When I arrive near the stage where the judges' seats are set up, I can see that I am not the only one who had this idea. There are already several people present here. Coffee time. However, I eventually find a space where Akhet and I can fit quietly. No seats, unfortunately, but the place isn't really meant for sitting around. When I turn around to resume a conversation with the bird, I can see that he is still busy looking around the room. With that look of wonder on his face, he almost looks like a kid. You don't have anything like this in Makad, do you? Maybe in the capital, but certainly not in Lakam. And even then, I'm not sure. Generally speaking, we prefer subtlety and discretion, including in our arts. Here, when we do something, we give everything we have. I thought I noticed that, yes. Who could blame you when it produces results like that? A brief feeling of pride runs through me as Akhet praises my country. It seems that no matter what reputation we supposedly have, there are some things we can do better than others. But for now, the only thing to do is wait, which I do by chatting with my companion and watching my competitors. I am pleased to notice the absence of Sven or his band. They obviously decided not to come to the competition, even if it's just to attend. As for Astrid, I assume she is with the other nobles. She didn't give me the impression of someone who mingles with the people when she can avoid them. Occasionally, flames or eyes shoot up toward the ceiling, or I can see the lights dancing in an unnatural way. Looks like the other competitors are making some last-minute preparations with their brands. I can feel a hint of jealousy run through me. I really wish I had my brand before I came here. I don't think I necessarily need it, but I can't deny that it would add to my performance. There's no point in focusing on what I don't have. Let's try to stay positive. The reception hall fills up quickly. In addition to the contestants, many spectators come to watch the competition. I've rarely had the opportunity to sing in front of such a large and diverse crowd. Perched on a balcony far above everything, I catch sight of a tall figure. With his antlers sticking out, there's no doubt that Akhet has come to watch the contest from far away. It's as I watch a group of nobles enter that I notice the change in brightness of the room. Not much at first, a simple detail. For a brief moment, the shadows on the walls seem to quiver. And then they stretch and shift, slowly moving up the walls, beginning to cover the stained glass windows to plunge the room into darkness. There can only be one explanation for this. Aeon is coming. Akhet, I think it's about to start. The bird doesn't answer me, too busy watching the shadows slowly devour the ceiling. And I can understand that. It's not a sight you can see every day. When the dark eventually covers all the windows, we find ourselves plunged into obscurity. Conversations fall silent and there is a hush in the reception hall. Everyone wondering what will happen next. After a few moments, the sound of wood being struck on stone echoes through the room. I briefly lay my ears on my head, still not appreciative of sudden loud noises. The sound of a thump is followed by the sound of a heavy voice, clearly augmented by a brand of air, so that everyone can hear it. Bards and guests, welcome to Frostfang! A hole forms in the layer of a shadow on the ceiling, allowing a streak of light to pierce through to illuminate the entrance. There stands a rooster dressed in dark clothing, a brand on his cheek glowing slightly. Second, y'all. Water time. Or coffee time. Alright. Judging by the staff in his hand, he's probably the one who made all that ruckus. Oh. I'm guessing he's the announcer for the contest. Now it's time to get serious. My name is Clovis, and it is with great honor that I announce that I will be the master of ceremony for this contest. However, it's not me you'll have to impress, but our 5 judges who are in charge of electing the best among you. I know you are eager to show off your skills, or to admire the best artists in our kingdom, so let's not waste any more time and let me introduce the members of the jury. He spins the staff in his hand before slamming it to the ground once more, the sound echoing throughout the room. Puh, show off. Representing the clergy of the 12, Lord Vul, High Priest of the Garan, Master Smith of the Realm. A priest? I didn't really expect a clergyman to be on the jury, especially someone connected to Garan. I have a hard time seeing what this has to do with the arts. Despite me internal questioning, I join in the polite applause of the crowd as Vul enters the room. The sight of the priest leaves me stunned. I feel as if every day that passes here introduces me to strange new people. The cleric looks pretty normal at first. He's a boar, dressed in the traditional blue tunic of the Church of the 12. However, it doesn't cover his arms, revealing his brand to the world, and that's where things get weird. Instead of being a simple pattern in his fur, the 2 rectangles forming his brand on his arms appear to have been covered with a thin layer of shiny gray metal. Steel, perhaps? On top of that, there are countless droplets of metal, all different sizes, covering his arms and snout. The sight is striking, but it's clearly not natural. Someone must have done this to him, and I can't imagine why. The idea that he could have chosen on his own to melt the metal into his flesh terrifies me. I look away, trying to get the image out of my head. My gaze then falls on Akhet, gently caressing the gold under his eyes. It's true that it's quite similar, but there's something about the priest that gives an impression of brutality. It lets you know that the operation was painful. Contrary to that, Akhet's gold bands impressed with their grace and the precision with which they were placed. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, before I tune out, I'm gonna go ahead and give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your donations. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silvermoon. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It is greatly appreciated. And thank you to our gold tier patron, Amr. Thank you for subscribing to our ultimate tier. We love you. You're awesome. We hope you enjoy your new icon. Anyway, if y'all wanna get your name in the credits and get access to our Not Safe for Work videos, it's as little as $5. Anyway, I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!